Hi, it's Wednesday, and that means it's time for another video edition of Widower Wednesday. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and today we are going to discuss what widows and widowers should do when they are bringing someone to meet your family or good friends for the first time. This is something I get a lot of questions on when I have widows or widowers in coaching sessions, and they obviously want things to go well with the family and friends and the new person in their life, and so they ask what they can do. So here is a quick summary of things that you can do to make sure that the event goes smoothly. The first thing you can do is ask yourself if this is an appropriate venue to actually introduce this new person to your family and friends. What is the event? Is it just like a general get-together? Is it something that where it's like maybe they're memorializing your late spouse? Is there going to be tears and stuff like that? That's the first thing to ask yourself is this really the event to bring my new love to, my new girlfriend to? Is this really a good event, or is there maybe a better event to do it? I understand there can be some hesitation and or maybe even excitement of wanting to for people to meet her, but I think a lot of it is it really comes down to, is this the right kind of event? I can't tell you how many times I've talked to people. It's like, yeah, we're gonna go celebrate the late wife's birthday, and I want to bring my girlfriend along to meet everybody. Probably not the best venue to meet people for the first time. Maybe if she's comfortable with them and she feels like going, that's a different story. But again, we're talking meeting family, friends, the late wife's family, whatever, for the first time. Is ask yourself, is this an appropriate venue, or is there maybe a better time and a better place to do it? Because the last thing you want to do, if you really want this to go well, the last thing you want to do is have them at a time where there might be tears, or they're there to memorialize the late wife, or this event was something special to the late wife. You're going to cause problems. And again, I understand you can't control the reactions of people. There might be tears and stuff anyway, but at the very least, you can at least do an initial check of saying, is this an appropriate time and appropriate venue to make these introductions? The second thing you need to do is you need to set clear expectations with your family, your friends, or the late wife's family, whoever you're introducing them to, as to what you're doing, as to who you're bringing, and set some healthy boundaries with them. Basically, you need to go to them and just say, look, I'm excited to introduce you to so-and-so. She's a wonderful woman. Just please be, I know that you still may be grieving, my late spouse, whatever her name was. I know you still might be grieving, but if you could, if you would at least be respectful to her, I'd appreciate that. And kind of do a gut check on them. If they're not ready to meet this person, if they're still grieving or for whatever reason, maybe it's time, again, reconsider, find a different time and place maybe to meet people. But I think it is your job to at least set those boundaries and expectations. And if you feel that those boundaries and expectations are not going to be upheld, then again, now is not the time to do it. But if you can, again, ask yourself, is this an appropriate venue, and have those conversation with the family as to, hey, this is what I'm doing, this is who I'm bringing, and maybe expected behaviors. Things tend to go a lot better. I know before I introduced Julie to my family and Krista's family and friends, I did give them the heads up. I don't know if I don't remember actually setting boundaries, because I don't think I was actually worried about that. But looking back, I probably should have asked, hey, are you okay with this? Are you at a place where you can meet Julie, kind of thing? Wish I would have done that. But I did give them the heads up, so it wasn't just a surprise that, hey, here's Julie. I mean, they all knew who I was bringing over. And again, there wasn't any. I mean, there was people who were uncomfortable to a certain degree, and I get that. But I think overall that the initial meetings went well. There wasn't any mentions of Krista. There wasn't any tears, and it seemed like people did their best to at least try to get to know Julie. So again, you want these events to go well. You have a lot of power. You have a lot of opportunity to have. To have these discussions with people. And if having the discussion is hard or it makes you anxious, I get it. I think that's normal. That's fine. But, if you're serious about this relationship and this person, these conversations are going to had to be had sooner rather than later. No one wants to be with someone who can't have who won't stand up for them or doesn't have their back. You need to have their back and stand up for them. And so, if you aren't do that, if you can't have their back, and you can't stand up for the new woman in your life, maybe it's time to ask yourself, are you really ready for a serious relationship? Just throwing it out there. Anyway, I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower. Feel free to like and subscribe. Leave your comments and your questions and stories below. If you want to schedule a coaching session about, setting expectations with family and friends about meeting this new person in your life, I'm happy to do that as well. There's a link in the description where you can do that. I'm Abel Keogh, author of the book Dating a Widower, and I'll see you next Wednesday.